Greetings. On this week's episode, I get to interview the amazing Forressa, and she performs some poetry. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the celebration. It is a joy, a pleasure, and an honor to have you join us here today. This week, you already know, is our live and online expression interview and performance. I got a special guest. She's super dear to my heart. Let me stay at her place, wrote me this amazing card that I still have to this day. Great poet and brilliant mind. She goes by the name of Forressa. How's it going? That's you. You can.
Howdy.
Why don't you give the awesome folks out there a little intro? How do you like to introduce yourself?
I am Forressa. I like to introduce myself as Forressa. That's it. It's me.
Hashtag humble. And are you a spoken word poet? Is that true?
I am a spoken word poet. I actually own a spoken word venue here in Killeen, Texas called the Poetic Sweet Spot.
Ooh.
I love all things poetry, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, and what's some other accolades we can throw your way? I think you've been to some regional and national poetry slams. You might have even won one or two.
Absolutely. I have Killeen, Texas. We went in 2012. We were second in the nation. I was on that team. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to the rest of the team too. I was on that team. I loved it. I've been to Southern Fried quite a few times. Started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
I love Southern Fried. I love nationals. I love the competition of it all. And I love poetry. I love the outlet it gives us and the chance it gives us to meet new people. And I wouldn't have met you without poetry and Southern Fried. Huh?
Very true.
It's true.
Do you remember when we met or how we met?
I do remember how we met. You had said we were competing against each other. That's how we met. But you told me you were a fruitarian, and I was like, "What in the?" You made that up, right? You know, you had this bag of dates and you want some? No. I'm looking for a burger. So, yes. It's about opposites attract. It's about making friends with people all over the place. Who would have known there would be a fruitarian in my circle of friends? Yeah.
That's awesome.
When I met you, remember you had dreadlocks. I'm like, this is a white guy with dreadlocks, and he's a fruitarian. I can't make this.
All things that you just said were true.
Yes. But I knew we'd be friends forever.
Yes, I agree. And then when I was on my poetry tour, moving to Los Angeles, you let me perform at your venue, and I got to stay at your house for 2 days. That was super awesome.
It was. And I brought a lot of fruit so you could eat fruit.
I know, it was awesome. I appreciate that. How did you... What'd you say?
I said I enjoyed it.
Yes, indeed. How did you get into spoken word and poetry? How did that come about?
I actually have always done poetry. I've always written poetry. My mother wrote poetry. She kept a lot of notebooks. She did a lot of writing. She encouraged me to write. At the time when I was little, I didn't know she was encouraging me to write so she could be nosy and read all my stuff. But she did encourage me to write. I had a diary from a young age and journals from a young age. She always encouraged me to write it down. She used to say, if it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. So I always wrote out what I was feeling, or if I wanted something, if I didn't want something, I wrote it because those words were magical to me. You know, sometimes when your mom talks, It's magic. So I'm like, okay, if it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. So I wrote things like, I am going to marry Prince. Still doesn't exist, but I wrote it anyway. But I always wrote poetry. I started performing my own poetry in about 1998, 99. I didn't perform. I really wrote. I performed other people's poetry. I used to do shows and programs and community life programs. I used to do other people's poetry, get up and recite a Maya Angelou piece. And um, I didn't do my own work until a good friend of mine who since passed, Coco Fire, another awesome, amazing poet. She started going through my notebooks, being nosy. And was like, you don't perform this stuff? You gotta perform this, And brought one of my notebooks to a poetry night. He's like, oh, my friend is gonna perform one of these out of this book. Get my notebook. So didn't know whether I loved her or hated her at that time. I ended up loving her, but yeah, that's how I started performing. It was at Under One Roof bookstore here in Killeen, Texas. I ended up starting to perform my own poetry, which was new to me because it's almost like you write things sometimes, especially the painful parts of your life, to get it out of your system. So you never imagine sharing that. You just think somebody's gonna read this. Oh no. So never thinking that you're going to be the one to read it. Because so it's a little bit like throwing up and then drinking it. Because then you memorize this crap. You just got it all out of your system. Then you put it all back in. And you did it it's like drinking your throw up. Yes, thank you. I know. You're welcome for the visual. You're welcome. But yeah, that's how I started writing and performing.
When you perform it, does it feel like you get it out again then?
I do understand it now. I understand that performing it is almost healing. I have a piece called His Wife, and in the piece, when I performed that piece the very first time, I remember how emotional I was. I remember how I was shaking, the notebook was shaking, how I cried, and how I looked out and the audience is crying, and I'm thinking, they're like, it's okay, baby, we're with you. It's just, that piece was so emotional for me. And each time I did it, it was almost like taking it's a piece about abuse, an abusive relationship that I went through. And each time I did it, it was like taking a little bit of my power back. Each time I got more powerful and more powerful till that poem or that man or that situation had no control over me anymore, as it did in the beginning. I had no clue that I needed to heal in that way, but clearly I did. Now I can do that poem. I did that poem. I did a show with D. Ray Davis, the comedian, and I opened the show with that poem, and we did it as a comedy skit. No one could have told me, that I would do that at a comedy show. It's amazing. The same thing make you laugh, make you cry. That's what they say. But it was just amazing how much I've healed and grown from the little girl who wrote that poem, the young girl who was abused and scared and angry. So I'm so different now. I'm so much more powerful than that. And that's what poetry is about. It's about a process. You never know who you're healing, who you're touching, who you're reaching, who's like in that same situation and going, I needed to hear that. And that's amazing. I've heard so many poems that I knew I was in the right place at the right time because I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's powerful. That makes me inspired and also makes me want to hear a poem.
Oh, all right. Let's do a poem.
Yeah, you be willing to share one with us?
I absolutely will share something with you.
Nice.
I will share. I'll share. This is my signature piece. It's Forressa's Groove. It's just a little piece that introduces me. Often do it in crowds that don't know me.
Nice.
So it's called Forressa's Groove. I like to mix a little jazz with my poetry. So Forressa's Groove. Here it goes. Music, music, music makes the world go round. Poetically, I put it down. Feel me as I flow with this. My name's Forressa, and if you didn't know it, the lady's a poet. From beginning to end, it's my desire that you be moved, your soul poetically, soothe your spirit poetically, grooved, expressing my thoughts so you can see where I'm at now. Tell me, can you handle that? I'm hoping you can, because here's the plan. We'll let these words penetrate your being. Let your heart feel what your mind are you seeing. This is my groove. I'm singing my song. And if you feel me, you can hum along. Grooving a gift that God did send to me. I'm not into poetry, baby. Poetry's into me. My groove, exactly what others are trying to find. Stella went to Jamaica to get hers back, but I've never lost mine. I want my groove to go on and on. Even when I'm gone, she left us her juice for her verbal nectar. You don't have to dig her, but you will respect her. That's what my groove is all about. I have a love for this art form that no one can doubt. I can't make you feel my desire to flow, but if you feel these words, then I'm sure you know I have no control. This flow comes from my soul, not dependent on anyone. I can flow alone, because if you can't feel it like I do, it's okay. I'm gonna flow on. I was blessed with the words that I manifest, done with only Forressa style, only Forressa's finesse. Forressa can be the only one in her audience, and she still gonna give Forressa's personal best. And that's what separates Forressa from some of the rest. My poetry keeps me going. It makes my life move, and my movement creates my flow, and my flow creates my groove. Forressa's groove. Da, 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 da.
Yay! That was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You have a great voice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
When did you write that poem?
I wrote that poem in 1999.
Hey!
Really, 1999. That's an old piece, but it's my signature piece. It's always my introduction. I ain't changed much. So it tells who I am in this poetry world.
How do you keep a piece like that fresh? Like, it felt like you just wrote it the other day. It felt so like you still loved it. You know, it didn't feel tired or anything.
I do. I absolutely still love that piece. Over the years, I have added to and taken out things from that piece. I do revive it all the time, revive and revise.
Yes.
I do. I like my old pieces. There's some pieces you love and you want to keep them alive, and you have to change them sometimes. You have to change them, but it's one of my favorite pieces. Because it's just fun, and the kids always love it. It's a friendly piece that I can do in front of the kids, and it makes a lot of the kids, when I do it at schools, all the kids say, I want to learn how to do that, and I'm like, oh, or they don't know that you can mix music with poetry. They're like, that's poetry? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I love that part of it. I love that. I love that poem shows that you can mix the two, that there's a marriage in poetry and music, and I love that.
That's amazing. What kind of places you perform at? You said you perform at schools, and where else do you perform?
I do. Oh my goodness. So I perform in a lot of schools. I have a program here in Killeen called We Write.
Yeah.
I go into the school district, and I get to go into schools and do classes for the kids. I do classes on spoken word. I do slam poetry for the high schools. I actually get to go in and judge their slams after I go in and talk to them about slam. Then they put on a big slam for me, the English classes. Then I get to go judge the slam, and that's so much fun. That is so much fun. And then recently, there's a town right next to mine. I'm in Killeen. There's a little town called Carpus Cove. They just asked me to do classes, the Art Guild, for performance poetry. They came. I run a slam called T.H.E Slam. It's my second year doing it. It was awesome. This year, Ed Mabry won. It was just an awesome slam, and it's a fun slam. We feed the poets. That's That's one of our missions. Feed the poet. Feed poets. So they eat good. They'll all tell you, we ate, she fed us. So, but in that slam, the Carpus Cove Art Guild, some of the members were there and they enjoyed the slam. And they were like, could you teach us that? Could you teach us performance poetry? Could you do some classes for our youth this summer? And I was like, I sure will. They're like, well, yeah, we wanted to pay someone you wanted to pay? All right. That's what I said. Okay. I'm there, because you don't hear we like to pay. We don't hear that often.
Yeah.
So when they say we want to pay, you say yes. So especially for something you would have done for free. So it's really amazing. True story. But yeah, so I'll be teaching classes there, and I like to perform I like to perform in my community. I get invited to a lot of community events. Our VFW invites me to perform. A lot of churches invite me to perform, and I enjoy that. I've opened for a lot of concerts and things of that nature. So I enjoy performing, and of course, we always slam. So competition-wise, it's two different things: slam poetry, performance poetry. Slam poetry, you got a time limit, and you got to be worried about make sure I get this in, make sure I'm timed right. Performance poetry is I can go up there and be sassy, put my hand on my hip, talk as long as I want, give an introduction to every poem, be cute, sassy like I am. So it's very different. So two different worlds. I love them both.
I know, but not everybody likes slam. So what do you like? Why do you like slam so much?
I like slam because it pushes you, it challenges you. It is, can I get this done in 3 minutes and 10 seconds? Can I, especially team slam, because in a team, you have to put egos aside. You learn, who is and isn't, made for this. When you get a team together, you learn who burns in a fire and who soars from the ashes. You learn that. So it tells you what you're made of. Anybody you can write a poem and call yourself a poet and get on stage all day. The rest of us may call you something else, but you can call yourself a poet anytime you get ready to. But when you can get on a team and you can get that choreography together and that timing together and those rehearsals together, you can mesh well with the other people. That's something magic. That's something different. And it's amazing to me. I love the bonding. I love the camaraderie. I love learning somebody else's style or learning how somebody else, if I were you, I would say that line like this, or if I were you, I'd say that line like, I love that, hearing the different ways that people would do things and, I never thought about it like that. Just being able to match ideals and get up there on that stage and perform together and feel one heartbeat, what they say, one band, one sound, that's what I love about slam and team slams especially. But even individual slam, I like the competition. It pushes you to go hard, to go home. It humbles you sometimes, and you have to learn to do that. You have to learn that it really is about the poem, not the points. And if you get that, if you go up there and you really get that, it's true. But if you can tell the poets that don't get that, because oh God, I got a 24. Shut up. So you really got to get that it really is about the poem. You have something that needs to be said, and you had to get it out. You get up there and you do it, and you put your heart into it, whether you get a high score or a low score. And I love that. I love that too.
So when you perform a poem that's really like a vulnerable poem, or that really means a lot to you, and you perform it and you feel like you gave it your best, but you get a low score, how do you still like maintain I still love slam? Or because some poets then stop performing that poem. You know what I mean? How do you stay
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen. I don't care. I understand 100% that the judges are people, and sometimes they are not judging your poem. They are judging what they like and don't like. These are just people, just like you. You did this poem, it may be heartfelt to you. It was about women, and women are great, and how great women are. Well, she may not like women, or he may not like women, or he may not feel the same way as you do about women. It's a difference of opinion, and that happens sometimes. If I got up there and I gave 100% in that poem, and I know I did, man, I still walk off that stage like it was a 30-piece, whether it was a 30-piece or not, whether it got a 30 or not. I'm walking off like it was a 30-piece. If I know I did that, I know I did that. That's You have to know like you know, like you know, when you get up there on that stage that you put 100% in. But tell yourself the truth. If you jacked the poem up, or if you did it half-heartedly, or if you didn't put enough into it, tell the truth. Yeah, that it did suck. There are times where you messed up a line or you dropped the line, anything. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. I take full responsibility for my actions on that stage. If I gave 100%, I'm patting myself on the back. If I dropped some lines or messed up that poem, I'm going to go, Forressa, you should practice harder. You were wrong. So it is what it is.
That's awesome. All this talk about poetry, you mind if we hear another poem?
Absolutely not. Woo! Absolutely not. So let's do a non-musical poem so they don't think that's all I do. Some musical poets will only do musical poems. You're like, shut up. Okay, so non-musical poem. I'll do this is a near and dear to my heart, so I'll do Baby Brother. I pray for him. Not only because he's my baby brother, flesh of my flesh, his face is mine, soft, round, mocha-colored cheeks that hide his jawline, and he is so beautiful to me. I pray for him because my baby brother is a Black man. Mm-hmm. And I suppose I should have thought of that way back then, but I never did. Never had I imagined that this little nappy-head, scrawny kid would one day grow up to be a Black man. Mm-hmm. I'm talking chocolate sensation, a woman of any color's temptation, a Black man. I'm talking works 5 times harder for 5 times less. We work with someone else, even if you are the best, a Black man. So my question is, how do I protect him from a world that believes he is out to get them when he plays his gangster rapper, wears those jeans too low, or has the nerve to pat down that afro while giving that confident smile? Will he be gunned down because he fits the profile? When I hear the words suspect, Black male, I call him. And no, it is not because I believe he's done something wrong. It is because our prisons are full of young Black men, and some of them, baby brothers like mine, who have caused no dissension, merely fit the description in the wrong place at the right time. And we got to keep these young Black boys in line. See, they're getting a little too educated. In the last 20 years, the rate increased on the number of Black men who graduated. And we just can't have that, male, educated, and Black. So I pray for my 6'5" baby brother, because his size seems to intimidate. And I am so afraid that they will shoot first and all questions will wait, like they did for Timothy Thomas, whom police recognized because he had warrants for his arrest. Officer Roach chased that unarmed man down that alley and shot him to death, all while off duty, obviously packing, conveniently wearing his bulletproof vest. Intuition, I guess. And I tell him, I say, little Joe, please do not hang out in parking lots. Because 23-year-old Sean Bull did that night after his bachelor party, unarmed and happy, and over 60 witnesses are still in shock, as am I, because I don't want my baby brother to die for being a Black man. And as for the family of C.J. Williams, well, I know they understand, because after all, it was his big sister who came home to find him bleeding to death on the living room floor, all because his girlfriend's big brother decided that he didn't want her with a Black man no more. And after all, it was his big sister who stayed by his side all the way to DeKalb Medical Center, where C.J. Williams died. Her baby brother died for being a Black man, and my baby brother is a Black man. And Lord, I don't want that to happen to him. And Lord, I know that revenge is not okay, but he has a sister who would hunt down anyone who brought harm his way. And he knows this is not just something I say. See, before he could walk, talk, or even stand, I was beaten down toddlers who snatched toys from his hand. You see, I love him. And from the day my mother brought him home and placed him in my arms, she said, it's your job to protect him, so I do. I pray for this 6'5", beautiful, brown-eyed, hard-working mama's boy, daddy's pride and joy in you. You may see him as a Black man just like any other, but I see him as one of a kind, because he is and always will be a beautiful baby brother.
Yes. Wow. Woo. That's fire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aw.
Wow, I have shivers that entire poem.
Aw. Yay!
I bet that's a poem that a lot of people, like the audiences go hype to that one, huh?
Yes. Yes. And I love it when they say, I have a baby brother, or, oh, that is powerful. I feel that same way about my baby brother, or my sister's the same way you are.
Mm.
It's so neat when they relate to it. It's just neat. You feel that instant connection with them when they say, "Oh, you're just like my sister. You're
Oh,
just like my sister." I'm like, "Oh, you know, that's so cool." That
that's
is.
wonderful.
That is.
What was the first line of that poem? Like, the first line you wrote? What was the first line you wrote? How to talk to me about the writing journey of that poem?
Well, my heart was breaking at the amount of Black people that were just being shot and
Mhm.
killed, and it, I was scared. Um, it was a fear. I thought each time that happened, that could have been him. It
Mhm.
was happening so often, and because of he raps, he plays gangster rap, and because of who he is, and this is a boy with a big heart. I was like, because of who he is and where he's at, he could be shot. He could be
Mm.
gunned down. So it was just like, in my process of praying for him, I do specific for him. In my process, I started writing that poem. After I finished praying, I was like, I pray for him. The first
Mm.
line.
Mm.
And I was praying for him prior to writing the poem. But I was so scared, more scared than usual. It was becoming a fear. I had to write the poem in order to break from the fear. And I mean, it was an obsession fear where I was calling him more than I should. I was obsessed with this. Are you okay? Well, don't be out tonight. Don't be staying out late. Okay, I love you. Okay, and get off the phone. 30 minutes later, like, oh my goodness, are you okay? What you
Mm.
doing? You should go
Mm.
home. Why are y'all standing outside in the mall? You should go
Mm.
home. I became so obsessed that I was getting on my brother's nerves. And I was just like, yeah, the writing was my break. I said, gotta write this, get it out, get free, and break, and understand that this is life. Keep praying for him, and that's all I could do. That's all I could do. I can't hold on to him any tighter than I was holding on to him. Poor thing. Poor thing. He'll tell you. I went through that period where I was scared to death for him, and
Mm.
that's where that came out of. But again, it's one of those processes where the more I did the poem, the better that got, and I stopped hovering over him.
Mm.
Smothering is what he'll call it, but it was just hovering. I wasn't smothering,
Mm.
hovering. That's
Yes.
my version. My version. I was just hovering, but I was scared. I was scared. I can't tell you that I'm not still scared. To
Yeah.
tell you the truth, I'm scared for me. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm the mom, so I'm scared for me. I am scared for me. So definitely feel scared for him. But the poem eased some things for me, and let me get some things out, and let me vent, and let me, you know, ugh, you know, my heart feel better.
Do you feel that spoken word has like a inherent relationship with an internal need to voice what's happening from the external oppression?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know a poet that wouldn't agree with that. Absolutely, absolutely. It in every poetry community, you'll find the poems about what's going on today, what's happening today, and everybody's view of it and affects them or how it affects their family. And I love that. I love that it affects us all differently. The things that are going on affect us all differently. So you get to hear all these different points of view. There was look, I'm opening a can of worms here, but there was at Cup-C, Mark Smith did that poem, and everybody was mad about the poem. I was mad too. Oh, you shouldn't have did it. But man, wasn't it interesting to hear his point of view? I just thought that was very interesting. His point of view was, I'm a white man. This is my country, and I'm getting beat up on. I was like, wow. It's just, well, hey, what about me? Is that right? It's just so interesting. I'm like, I gotta hear the poem. I couldn't wait. He posted the poem that he did. I just couldn't wait to go read the poem. I was like, this is so great. Wrong place to do it, but my goodness, I love that hearing the different points of view. Tell the truth. You are what you are. Let's not put any, cloaks and Klan hats on. Let's take them off and tell the truth. We are who we are. I appreciate the honesty. I like to know where you're coming from and who you are, because we didn't, so now we do. So I love that. I love hearing all the different points of view. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I noticed that sometimes there are popular poets or mainstream poets that get a lot of play, or they're popular in the poetry community, and they'll do a poem, and the poem will have to me, this crazy point of view, and because they are who they are, everybody's going, yes, go in, you go, yes. You're like, if y'all don't shut the hell up, it's so funny to me. It's so funny to me but that really happens. That happens. Those mainstream poets that you're just like, oh my God, this poem sucks. It's horrible. And everybody's going, yes, girl, you better say that. Yes. We have got to stop that. Sometimes our inner poetry world starts to mirror the outside. It's like, we look out and we're like, we don't want to be like that. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be a superpower here and have cliques and be judgmental. Then we're inside like, yeah, superpower with cliques and we're judgmental. It's so funny. It's so funny. So funny how art imitates life.
Yes.
Oh, you got me just rambling here. I'm sorry.
No, we're enjoying it. That's the whole point. Now, most people, when I tell them, oh yeah, when I was coming to LA, I performed in Killeen, Texas. There was this poetry, and I did it at a salon, and it was awesome. And they're like, poetry in Killeen, Texas? What do you say to people's reaction when they're like, there's no poetry in Killeen, Texas?
I laugh at them. There's so much poetry in Killeen, Texas. And not only is there poetry in Killeen, Texas, because there's poetry in Killeen, Texas, every spot in town that tries to open a poetry spot. You got the club. Oh, poetry's doing good. We're going to do poetry. Oh, but we forgot. We don't have no poets. Then you have the bookstore just opened up. Now they're doing a poetry night. A barbecue place called me. Would you like to do a poetry night? I'm like, there's so much poetry here that there's no poetry here. It's like amazing to me. They just pop up. I've seen them come and go. I opened the Poetic Sweet Spot 5 years ago because there was not a poetry venue here. We were performing inside of clubs, and because of that, the clubs had the right to say, well, from now on, we'd like your poetry night to just be an hour. Or we don't want your poetry night to start at 7. We'd like it to start at 8. Or we would like your poetry night to be, only every other Tuesday, not every Tuesday. So they had say over when our poetry nights were, how we did them, when we did them, and that wasn't okay with me. So I was like, how about we have a place that's open by a poet, and it's for the poets, and it does whatever the heck poetry wants to do when poetry wants to do. So that's what I did. I opened up the Poetic Sweet Spot, and it was awesome. Here we are 5 years later, and the Poetic Sweet Spot is still open, and it's every Saturday. Some Saturdays we have a great crowd, some Saturdays it's a small crowd. We have a poetry community. Unfortunately, as in every poetry community, them poets ain't loyal. But they just ain't. Poets are not loyal. They're always trying to, it's like, want to see you doing good, but not better than me. So there's always something else happening, or that crab in a barrel mentality. But for 5 years, I've watched poetry nights come and go, and I'm still standing. So it is what it is. I'll stand as long as I want to stand. When I get tired of being opening the poetic sweet spot, I'll close it. And I'll travel, because eventually that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close poetic sweet spot and travel, because that's what I want to do. But right now, it's open, 5 years strong. I love it, and I enjoy being able to say, we're having poetry every Saturday with the time we want to have it, and anybody walking through that door knows it's poetry. I don't have to tell you your cell phone can't be on. I don't have to tell you you can't play pool while we doing poetry. I don't have to tell you you can't be drunk and belligerent in the back. I don't have to say all that, because it's not a club, it's not a bar, it's a poetry spot. Awesome. And then I can have teenagers in there and not have to worry about it, because I'm not selling alcohol. There's no alcohol. It's wonderful. So I enjoy Poetic Sweet Spot. It's my heart. I love it. It's my baby. So I enjoy it. And I will never forget the freedom that it has given me. It's just given me the freedom to, and it's a registered venue. This is our first year going to nationals, Poetic Sweet Spot. Killeen, Texas is sending the team to nationals. It's our first time. At Poetic Sweet Spot, first time we're sending K-Town, Mic Drop Slam. We have an amazing team, and I'm excited. We have The Gift, myself, a girl named April Neal. She's a newcomer. Y'all won't see her coming. Woo! And we have B-Shatta.
Nice.
So it's an awesome team. We're going to kick some butt.
Hey. Well, this has been absolutely amazing getting to catch up with you. I love getting to hear your poetry and just be around your energy. And, real props running a show where every single week you're doing a show. I've been running a show since 2013. So I understand. And so I salute you. I tip my hat. I know the ups and downs, the joys, and the one person in the audience. I've been there. So,
okay.
Much respect and appreciation to you for all that you bring to the poetry community. I really appreciate it.
Same to you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. So we are going to be live on May 21st. That is a Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time. If you're in Central Time, that's 2 p.m. If you're on the East Coast, that's 3 p.m. If you're in Nigeria or you're in London, that's 8 p.m. And you can join by video or by phone from anywhere in the world. And we start with the writing workshop. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to be a writer. Just come and we'll find ways for you to share. And it culminates with Forressa sharing an amazing featured set with all of her years of experience. She's going to just kill it for you. And our theme this month is growing. So it's going to be really awesome. If you want to register, you can head to tommerl.com/events, tommerl.com/events, and you can register right there for free to join us. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds awesome.
Where can folks get in touch with you to let you know how much they love you?
My Facebook page is Forressa Harrison. That's simple. Or you can go to the Poetic Sweet Spot Facebook page, and I'm there. Woohoo! And I'm on Instagram as Forressa Harrison.
Yay!
I'm Forressa Harrison on every social media. Forressa is the name.
And 2 R's, 2 S's, am I correct?
Yep, Forressa. So 2 R's, 2 S's.
And then what about Harrison?
Harrison. Forressa Harrison.
Anything you want to add before we say peace?
No, just want to say thanks again for the opportunity, and thank you for watching.
Hey! I agree with all of that. We hope, I've been listening to a lot of Maya Angelou lectures, and her big thing that she was saying near the end of her amazing life was she was just always encouraging people, memorize one poem. Even if it's 3 sentences, if it's a haiku, if it's by you, if it's by anybody, memorize one poem. And she always liked to say, and I suggest you memorize one of mine. So
I had hers memorized. Let me tell you. That's funny.
So go for it, folks. Otherwise, join us on Sunday, the 21st of May at noon Pacific Standard Time, and we will get you to write a poem. It'll be amazing. So as always, I am wishing you peace and blessings.